I'm investigative podcaster Shane Waters from Out of the Shadows, and I am an ordinary Hoosier. Back when I was in college, I went to a university for forensic psychology. This type of true crime that we see on TV affected me more than what it does when I'm watching TV when it's in real life. And I don't think that I was quite strong enough to deal with it at the time. I had a long 2-year internship with a crime lab that exposed me to murders and actual missing people cases. I could separate myself from it when I'm watching it from a screen, but I couldn't do that in real life. I started doing stand-up comedy because I think once you realize the dark side of humanity, it's hard to bring yourself out of it. And doing stand-up comedy allowed that to happen for me. Comedy was something I was good at. I could talk about true stories from my past. Those are all things that I could relate to people and make jokes about. And I loved being able to make people laugh. After I graduated, I continued with comedy. At some point in my life, my uncle passed away, and my uncle, Lynn, he was a role model to me, like how to be a great person. And after he passed away suddenly, I kind of refocused in on my life to kind of reevaluate where my life was going and if I was happy with it. And so I looked at my skill set at the time, and I knew that I could talk and tell stories because of my skills doing stand-up comedy for so many years. But I also had knowledge in forensics. And I listened to some podcasts about true crime, and I thought, I'm just going to start doing that. I'm going to try to make an episode once, and if I can someday, with a small hobby, reach 10,000 people, then I think that will be a really cool thing. And that was my goal that I set for myself. So without knowing anything about podcasting, producing, recording people, I just knew how to talk to someone and make them feel comfortable. And so that was my ultimate goal. It would have been 2.5 years ago. That first episode went out, and I remember receiving 10,000 downloads within the first 2 days. I knew that recording myself and putting myself out there was something that I would receive criticism for from some people, and they'd have a name and a voice to criticize. I thought that I was strong enough to take that criticism, and I remember the first time I got my first 1-star review on iTunes. I think that it reminded me of a time in high school when I was overweight and would get bullied, and that's exactly how it felt. And I remember wanting to quit, and then I remembered how it felt to be that student being bullied by other kids, and that's what led me to know not to give in, because that's letting them win. I would think back to my uncle. I knew that Lynn would not give up, and that would give me the strength to pull forward and push through it. I started the podcast thinking that it was going to be a hobby. Now I know that this is exactly where I need to be. I know it's kind of cliche to think that we're all put here for a reason, but I do believe that, and I believe that this is why I've been put here.